What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Next Content Friday is here, and today we will talk about context because I think there are a lot of features or maybe options you are maybe not aware of, and which will provide you with huge time savings. We will talk about updates that we made this week and also about team features. So let's get started and let's get into it. And I will switch my screen. Probably, great, my shortcut is working. So let's start. Probably the best idea is to start with team features, which we are working on very extensively, and it's taking a lot longer than I expected, to be honest. And if you are desperately waiting for team features, I'm sorry it's not available yet because we have to make extensive testings and stuff to make sure everything is ready and to go live, to go into production. But I will show you how I think this what we have here and what I will show you is 95% done. So the testing part is not yet completed, and we have to make sure everything works as expected because these, the changes that are on the backend are huge, and basically every fry, every potatoes, every potato, every quote card, everything you have in the app has to be assigned under some team. And if something went wrong, then you basically will be not able to see your content. This is something that we have to make sure we'll avoid. So everything will be migrated to this new team structure. And let me show you how it looks like and how it works. So now I'm under the Content Fries team, as you can see here, and I'm owner of that team. And when I go to manage the team and the account, I can change the name, I can invite new colleagues, and I have team members here. I can remove anyone I want. And when I go to the second account, this is the editor, and as you can see here, under Google Chrome, I'm logged in as that editor. Okay, and now I'm under that second account, second Content Fries totally separated account, which has his own testing team. That's basically how it is, the name of the team in the profile. And when I switch to the Content Fries team, then I can see everything that I can see as this owner, as this account. Okay, so now I have all the pieces of content the same as the owner of the account. I can go under or into it and modify and change, export, but depending on the role. Okay, and some flies flying here. And depending on the role that I have in that team, I have permissions to, for example, export or modify or only view some pieces of content. And that applies also to potatoes, quotes, and everything else. Okay, so this is how the team features will work like. We will also add an option to, manage your team or invite people by email. This will be probably here, some option to invite by email. So if you don't want to use this invitation link, you can skip it. And instead of that, invite people by email if you are, looking forward to that. But that's not a big deal. It's just some minor change that will be also implemented when we will launch the team features. And the most important stuff that you just have to know or realize is that as soon as it will go live, the team features will be available here near the logo. Okay, and you will be able to change or modify and manage your team. If you are on the junior plan, you will have basically just one team spot. That means you will not be able to, invite any additional team members. But usually, the junior membership is for small content creators who are doing, the content repurposing stuff and using Content Fries on their own. So that should not be a big deal. And if you are on any of the higher plans, depending on the plan that you have, you will be able to invite team members and, manage them as you want. and use basically these theme features. So that's regarding the theme features. I think this is one of the most important things that we are currently working on and finally finishing. And I will personally test this extensively during the weekend to write all the things that has to be done in some document so we can implement everything that's left as soon as possible. And after that's done, we will release it. So we just need a few more days, but it's really close. So that's theme features. The second big thing, okay, when I go to do a production account, is that we switched to, when I go to my profile, to client or basically server resource generator. When you go into your profile, you will probably see that you have this set to server. Okay, and what does that mean? And this is very important update that was distributed this week, is that everything before this update was generated on the client side. That means all the headlines and emojis and stuff were basically some snapshot has been made on the background in your browser, and that snapshot of that headline was sent to the server, and server used that image in the background to generate your videos and your fries. Okay, but this was problematic because this approach was slow. Okay, it took when you had especially a lot of headlines, or when you did some kind of bulk exporting or something like that, it took really, I don't know, even 10 minutes. If you, for example, was on the dashboard or in the fry section and you bulk exported all your pieces of content like this, okay, you check all of your pieces of content and you hit export selected. When you did this before this update, it was really super slow. It was basically not usable. But after this update, it is much more faster because we can skip this process and generate the image on the server side instead. And this is how it basically works in ContentFries 2.0. In ContentFries 2.0, there will not be any client side resource generator, only the server side to make everything as fast as possible. And the second issue that we have with the client side generator was that, if you have, for example, Brave browser as I have, and you have this Shield up, then it was basically blocking that process of snapshotting the headlines. So the rendering basically failed and it was not usable. And this is not the only thing that was skipping or blocking the rendering. It might have been blocked also by, this, I don't know how it's called. I have it here just because the testing purposes, but it's uBlock Origin, and also some, malwares, weird, stupid things were also blocking it. And we can't control the behavior of browser extensions. So it was leading to really unexpected behavior, like you exported the video and no headline was in it, or maybe the export was stuck or stuff like that. And everything was happening just because the client resources generator that was making the snapshot on the backend, on the background, and sending those snapshots to the rendering server. And by doing this update, it's finally resolved. This was really bothering me a lot, so we will now focus all of our efforts only on this server resources generator. And as I told earlier, this is the only way how resources will be generated in the 2.0 version. So that's a huge thing that we made finally and finished this week. And this is also something that's related to the 2.0 version. And that's second huge thing that we made. And now I would like to share with you a couple of things regarding the context system and what you can do basically. And it's little known. This is something that not a lot of people know about. But this can save you a lot of time when you pay close attention, and it's simple and easy to do. So stick with me. I guarantee you this will be worth it, because people are comparing Contentfrize with video editors quite often with tool like Wave Video, or I don't know, InVideo, or maybe Weed.io or stuff like that. And the core difference between these tools and Contentfrize is that Contentfrize is not a video editor in the first place. Contentfrize is a content multiplier, and that means you can take one piece of content and repurpose it into dozens pieces of content, but that's just the beginning. When we go more in depth, let me go to the section which is menu items, and you can find all the context in this section. Okay, and you have this Facebook video, Instagram video, and stuff like that. And you can modify any of these contexts as you want. And you can also add new context into your, menu items list. And what that mean is that when you do that, it will be available in the uploading wizard. It will be available in the trimmer, basically everywhere. And you will be able to repurpose your long form pieces of content into and choose that context as well. And for example, one of the discussion that was in the Facebook group was regarding the context, and there was a document with all the technical specifications of how the Facebook video should look like, that it has 240 minutes at max, and it has these dimensions and stuff like that. And Contentfrize is not working with these technical specifications. Instead, we are taking the context of what we think will be the most or the best, context for this kind of content on different platforms. And when you take a look, for example, on Facebook videos and what people like Gary Vee or Alex Hormozi are doing, they are not following the technical specifications. They are creating square videos or videos with 4:5 aspect ratio. That means it's not this 1080 times 1080, but it's 1080 times 1350. Okay, so that's 4:5 aspect ratio. And if you want to change that, you can change that here. So if you want to have, for example, 4:5 aspect ratio for Facebook videos, you can change the height here and save. And also, probably you will not create 240 minutes videos for Facebook, but you will keep your whatever, maybe under 5 minutes or something like that, which is much more contextual for Facebook. Keep it short and sweet, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, 5 minutes at max for videos with captions and subtitles, hard coded into the video. And that's much better for Facebook from my perspective. Okay, but we will keep 240 minutes there because that's this is an admin account and I will not mess with it. So this is important thing to keep in mind when you are working with the context. Just think about what's the most or the best kind of bite-sized video content and what's working the best on the platform. And definitely on TikTok, it's portrait video with some kind of subtitles in it or some kind of engaging stuff. And Instagram video, it's basically a square video, also can have captions and stuff like that. So always think what the maybe huge or big content creators are doing on different platforms and what kind of dimensions they use and how you can maybe get inspired by it and copy that dimensions. Don't follow some technical specifications because that don't have much to do with if your content will work or not on that platform. And by following what big content creators are doing, you are increasing the chances that your content will work on that platform. especially with this type of content that is created with Contentfries. Okay, so these are the context, and this section right here, it is not often, a little bit of people maybe know about this, that you can add your own context and delete all the context that you don't want to use, or modify the aspect ratio, or basically anything that you want. But the most powerful thing of the context system is that you can create one template pack and generate or create different templates for every individual context. Let me show you how you can do that, and I'm doing this and using this quite often. For example, in this template, let me go there like this, and as you can see, this is the base or the core template of basically this piece of content. And when I want to customize my template for different context, as you can see, I did that for LinkedIn video, and when I go there, it's the same template, but it looks completely different. Okay, for LinkedIn, the template has this blue background, has this, headline with some books in it, and maybe I can also change the text color to something like that. I'm doing this basically on every LinkedIn piece of content that we produce, that I highlight some word with this yellow color, and whatever. Okay, you can do that if you want. You can skip that if you don't want to use something like that. And this is the second template for this template pack. And as you can see, TikTok video context has also customized template in this template pack. So it's one template pack, but different templates for different layouts. Okay, and for the Instagram or the TikTok version, this is how the template looks like. Okay, and when I go back to context switcher, when these contexts don't have this check mark near their name, it means they are or copying or using the core layout, the primary template. There is nothing else to it. So, for example, if IGTV don't have a different template, it will use this primary template, and everything will be centered, okay, to the center of the context, as you probably need to have your content when you upload some kind of portrait video like this. Okay, so that's how it works. So as you can see, the context system is also implemented into the templates engine, which is little known but very powerful. And let me show you. This is the local host, so I'm here on my dashboard, for example, and now we have these pieces of content 5, 6, 7, and here we have one. This was basically repurposed out of a webinar. So let me go, for example, to this one. And in this particular piece of content, as you can see, I'm using exactly this template. So this is customized. There is only, the headline is different than the subheadline. And also I'm using here Contentfries hashtag. And this is for LinkedIn, as I showed you in the template section. When I go to the Facebook video, it looks completely different because it's the same template pack, but different template for different context. Hopefully that makes sense. So as you can see, also the captions look completely different in this one. And you can use that, leverage that as you want. And what I like to do is that, we just change all the headline, we repurpose some long piece of content or whatever into several bits and bite-sized pieces of content. Then we fix headlines in the context that we are interested in publishing. And when we are done with that process, we go to the dashboard or to the Fries section right here, and let me show you what we do next. You can choose the pieces of content that you are exporting, and you can click export selected, and now everything will be, sent to the rendering server. Everything will be rendered, so you don't have to export one piece of content after the another, or going into, as you can see, it is now starting, and you should see this little line here that is, can you see how fast it is? It's almost complete here, and every piece of content is exporting, simultaneously. That's really great. So you don't have to go to your piece of content and click on it and go into it and export this context like this, or bulk export, but you can do that from here. But make sure that everything is ready, that your headline is okay, that you have, your subtitles corrected, and if you want to use preset, do that, and basically do all the finishing touches that you want. And when you're done, you don't have to bulk export that or export individual context one after another. You can go here and do that from your dashboard or from the fries section. And when it's done, when everything is completed, you can choose these pieces of content and click this download exported, and it will zip or create an archive file of every exported piece of content, and it will be, as you can see, it's already downloading because I did that before. So when you have this gray icon, that means that particular context was not exported yet, and you have to export that before you can download it in a zip file. And let me show you how that zip file, this is for some reason started again, but I would like to show you how the zip file looks like, and I think that's great. So let me see. Okay, and I will go there, and give me just a second because I'm really excited about this. And I have an example. Okay, this particular piece of content is here, so let me okay, like this, and now we have that bulk export right here. And as you can see, it has Facebook video and LinkedIn video, because those are names of our contexts. Okay, so we have Facebook, and we are also exporting LinkedIn. And when I go to Facebook, I should have 3 pieces of content there. And when I go to LinkedIn, I should also have 3, because I exported 3 fries. Okay, and 3 fries with 2 contexts. That means 2 contexts and 3 fries. And why we are doing, directories like this is because it's much better organized this way. And you can also, drag and drop all of the pieces of content that you generate like this, and drop them to publisher that you use. And if that publisher is supporting some kind of bulk exporting or bulk scheduling, you can just drag and drop all your LinkedIn videos and schedule them to 3, 5, 10, 20 days ahead, if or automatically. We use, for example, Publer, and this is really great with the bulk exporting. Let me show you how that looks like. And as you can see, you can drag and drop the media, but we are interested in this bulk upload. And now I can paste all my LinkedIn videos to it like this. Now I have 3, and I want to publish them on LinkedIn. So check LinkedIn, and then I just write some caption, and it will be automatically, depending on the settings of how I use the LinkedIn in the Publer. For example, if I set on Publer that I want to, distribute or publish videos twice a week and do some kind of automatic scheduling, it will fill the slots to the future. So basically, by doing this, you can fill up weeks of content really quickly and rapidly. If you are publishing videos, for example, only twice a week or whatever, then doing something like this can really untie your hands, and you can focus on different stuff, because you can publish or distribute or schedule your content for weeks ahead, and that's really super powerful. I can't speak today, so excuse my English. It's really terrible. My tongue is not cooperating well, but anyway, whatever. This is something that we are implementing in 2.0 version as well, so you don't have to use some kind of external publisher. You will be able to publish, or not only publish, but also do this, and what is this called? You know what I mean? That word. Just publish ahead your pieces of content, and that's basically it. So as you can see, you can export all the pieces of content in a bulk, then you can download them in a bulk, you can schedule them in a bulk, and that's super powerful workflow. This is not a video editor, just let me repeat that. This is content multiplier, and as you can see, the workflow is different than in some kind of video editor. And content multiplying and content repurposing is not just about videos, and that's why we added this quotes generator feature, which is currently in early access. But you can, our goal is to make it obvious and more easy for you to think about the content repurposing and its options, and what every stuff that you can do with content repurposing. You can go into Fries and you can download every Fry as an audio. It's just one click. You don't have to do anything else. Download as audio. It will generate MP3 file, and you can share it as a podcast if you want. You can do the same thing with potatoes. So now you can turn your video into audio. Basically, it's just one click. Then you can take your long form video or audio content and go into the potato section and multiply it and chop up into as many shorter bits as you want. So you generate fries out of potatoes. Then we were talking a lot today about the context system and the templates. So you have one piece of content, but you can generate as many pieces of content as you want from it and change it just from the visual perspective. So it looks different for Facebook, it looks different for Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube Shorts, YouTube, anything else. Okay, that's the second step of content repurposing. Then you can highlight all the portions or all the golden nuggets in your transcriptions and use them and turn them into quote cards. Everything I just mentioned can be done in Content Fries. No video editor can do something like this. Okay, that's the huge difference. And the best news is that those online video editors are great. Those are great tools to use, and they have features that Content Fries is currently lacking. So we can use Content Fries in addition to video editors. That doesn't mean you have to choose video editor or Content Fries. Those two can combine together really great, and you can combine them and get the most out of your content. And then we have quotes. So I mentioned that you can just highlight some part of the transcription and turn it into a quote, and then generate those quotes into quote generator. So if this is some kind of a really great sentence, I can add it to my quote ideas and then generate with one click quotes out of my quote library or random quotes. So that's a huge and also great content repurposing strategy that you can use. Then you can download or export this transcription as a plain text, so you can publish it to WordPress, for example. And we have also WordPress integration that we just have to update to make sure it's working as it should. But you can also, if you have the integration set in your account, publish to your WordPress blog directly from here. So that's the next step. That's the next tip. Okay, so now you have videos, audios, transcription for blog posts, quote cards, and that's how you can leverage Contentfrise. But you can also go beyond the scope of features that Contentfrise is currently doing. And for example, create some slides for Carousel and do outsource that to some kind of Fiverr guy or whatever. And then you have a next piece of content that you can use, for example, and share on Instagram as Carousel or whatever. Okay, then you can take the transcription and look for 10 steps to do something and turn that into some kind of infographic. And everything I mentioned will be in the future, eventually in Contentfrise 2.0. Okay, so as you can see, video editor is just a part of this process. Content repurposing is much more than just videos. And our vision is to provide you with a toolkit or features that you need to, do all the content repurposing. And because, one thing that I mentioned on our Facebook group was that, for example, if you know Alex Hormozy, he's spending 20,000, per month on content. And that's let me find that in the group. Okay, and this is the short. This is incredible. He pays 20,000 per month, and it's actually 40K because he's doing that with his wife. So that's unbelievable. And he spends 2 days a month to record that content, and then he takes all of that and send that to YouTube editor, LinkedIn editor, Reels and TikTok editor, and I think he used 4 different editors, and pays 20K for that work, and then create all the content for them. And actually it is probably much more now. As Sebastian mentioned, they are spending probably 70,000 now, because I think he's now using editor that was working for Gary Vee in the past, so he probably switched. I don't know. Maybe you can. Maybe you are more aware about that. And this is really incredible. And Dwayne made really awesome and super cool point about this, because everyone is comparing themselves with legends and content creator gods like Gary Vee or Alex Hormozy, and I'm, gods in quotes. Okay, everyone is putting them on some kind of pedestal or something like that, and I don't think that's a great idea. I think the only one person you should compare yourself with is you. Okay, and maybe just track your progress and see what kind of incremental improvements you can you can add to your content to make it better next time. How you can I don't know, maybe you can invest in a microphone to make better audio, but that's some kind of technical. Okay, you can maybe work on your skills. You can work on your presentation skills. You can learn to speak or talk about some stories, and you can use them in your videos or whatever. Just think about how you can create better content, and you will see if the engagement is going up, if sales are raising, if the number of leads is increasing. And if not, think about what's stopping what is the blockage. Really, my English is funny today. So this is how I look at it, okay? And I really believe everyone can have a community, everyone can have following, everyone can attract their ideal or dream clients. You just have to work hard in the beginning, especially in the beginning, and you have to combine that with strategic work. Maybe think about how you can outsource what you don't like, what you are weak at. Maybe focus more on your strengths. Maybe focus more. Maybe, I don't know, you are good at selling or good at writing. Maybe double down on that kind of content, and think about how you can turn that piece of article or whatever, and turn it into video, and turn it into images, quotes, stories, whatever. You really don't have to produce a lot of content on a weekly basis. All you have to do is create maybe or record one live recording, as I'm doing right now, and then you can take that video and turn it into 3, 5, 10, maybe more pieces of content, depending on if you are a native speaker. You definitely have a great advantage. It's more difficult for me to make more meaningful pieces of content, because I'm doing this kind of videos without any kind of preparation, because I don't have time for that. Our core priority currently is development, but I'm now slipping to a different team. So, think about how you can take what you are the most good at, and how you can get the most out of that. Okay, and how you can also enjoy that process, and don't beat yourself up because you are comparing yourself with this kind of content creators that pays tens of thousands of dollars per month to different video editors, and they have years or the decades of years of experience of talking in front of people on stages and of stuff like that. So that's just my funny English 2 cents to this topic. And let me see if there's something that we can also mention in today's episode of Content Fridays. It's 6th. Content Friday 6. That's incredible. So thank you very much. I see that there are no questions. Maybe we have some here. And thank you, Veronica, very much. She's writing here that my English is pretty cool, so I appreciate that. And that's all that I wanted to share with you today, guys. So let me know what you think. I really think when you go more in depth in Content Fridays and start looking at the content repurposing the way I described it, you can really save so much more time by leveraging all the bulk exporting stuff, and just find some kind of workflow that is fitting your needs. That means slice the long form content, slice the potato into shorter bits, do all the headlines, captions, subtitles, captions preset, whatever that you prefer on the context basis. Then bulk export all of them from your Fry section or from your dashboard, then download them in a zip file and bulk schedule them anywhere you want. And that's a really great workflow that you can use that can save you so much time. And it's not that obvious, or it's little known, but it can really and definitely save you many hours of content repurposing and video editing. So that's everything from me today, and I'm looking forward to see you next week, and enjoy your weekend, and I'm looking forward to see you next time, guys.